All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Waharakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect out here toiling in this truth. I'm Pathakamoth GMS Dallas, and I'm just coming back at you with a really quick hit, more like a rant, a little rant, you know what I'm saying, to these, unlearned, throwed off, through so-called Israelites out here continuing to claim that E is Japheth, man. You know what I'm saying? We have a problem. Houston, we have a problem, man, because that's throwed off and through. It doesn't line up with scriptures, man. You know what I'm saying? And basically, the Lord just ain't dealing with these people at the end of the day. If you're still claiming that E is Japheth, you're just through, because prophecies tell you who's who and what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So if you're which these people aren't dealing with prophecy. You know what I'm saying? They're going off of feelings, emotions, and misinformation that they were given by this devil himself, Esau, man. You know what I'm saying? That's where they get that from. That whole Esau is Japheth comes from Esau himself, man. You know what I'm saying? And they're running with it. And they're wrong, because again, prophecy tells you who's who. It tells you what's what. It tells you what's going on, man. And you have to deal with prophecy. If you're not dealing with prophecy, the Lord ain't dealing with you. Revelations 19 and 10. You know what I'm saying? But which we'll pull it. You know what I'm saying? But off the top, I want to go here. This is Isaiah chapter 34. And we're going to jump down to verse 16 because you got to deal with the scriptures, man. This is Isaiah 34 and 16. Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and read. So you got to seek out of the book and read, man. The scriptures say that blessed is he that readeth, man, in Revelations. So you have to read, man. You'll be blessed if you read, It says, no one of these shall fail. No one of what? The prophecies, man, the things written. They're not going to fail. The Lord is a man that he cannot lie, It tells you in Isaiah 55 and 11 that his word is not going to come back to him void, but it shall accomplish the thing whereto he sends it. And all of these things are written and they're faithful and true, man. So it says no one of these shall fail, man. So if you deal with the prophecies, there's no way you can go wrong, man. It says none shall want her mate because no other book can line up or match the Bible, man. You know what I'm saying? You got groups out here, these people out here trying to put the Quran with the Bible. You know what I'm saying? You got these devils over here in the land trying to put the Talmud with the Bible. I'm like, dude, stop, bro. It says none shall want her mate. The Bible doesn't need any help. Now, although brothers do, we use other sources to make certain points. You know what I'm saying? Just to make points. But of course, ultimately, at the end of the day, it's all about the scriptures, man, and what they say. Hey, whether they hear or forbear, man, if you believe it or not, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So none shall want her mate. It says, for my mouth it had commanded, the things spoken. Like I said, I already quoted Isaiah 55 and 11. You know what I'm saying? And his spirit had gathered them. And that's what's going on right now. The spirit of the Lord is gathering the remnant back. You know what I'm saying? Because none of these shall fail, man. The prophecies. That's how you know who's who and what's going on. And you see that great gathering right before your eyes as we speak, man. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be dealing with the prophecies, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't go wrong if you deal with prophecy and not emotions and feelings and wrong information. You know what I'm saying? This nigga who they got this information from, about Esau being Japheth, is claiming to be everybody, man. Everybody on the damn planet. This man is, let him tell it, man. The Egyptians, the Europeans, the Israelites, everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? Which that can be explained, man. That can be explained. As a matter of fact, let's go to Micah real quick, the 2nd chapter, because it all makes it make sense, man. This makes it make sense. This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 2. And it reads, and they covet fields, and to covet something is to want something that someone else possesses or has, man. It says they covet fields and take them by violence, man. What is this? Don't the scriptures speak of the violent man? Who is that talking about? This nigga is a brute beast. This nigga is a beast, man. He's the bestial man. The scriptures tell you that in Revelations. He's that bestial man. He's the violent man. We now know who these things are talking about. They covered fields, so those fields represent the world. You know what I'm saying? Places in the earth. This nigga wants everything and takes them by violence because he's the violent man. What was his blessing? Pursuing to Genesis, the 27th chapter, the sword, man. And that's how he's went through the earth, conquering and taking. You know what I'm saying? So it says they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his heritage. This nigga will move into your house and take down your pictures and put his pictures up in your home and kick you out and call it his home, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what this dude does, man. So he'll take your land, your countries. This nigga came into Europe, took Europe. Nigga came into Israel and took Israel, Jerusalem. You know what I'm saying? That's why you see those fakes over there in the land now, man. Those small hatters, those 48ers, man. It says, so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Boom. His heritage, his possessions, his identity, So this is what the violent man, by way of his blessing, the sword, his weaponry, his army, his military might, has done, man. Beginning and starting with Alexander, man. Going through the earth, had the whole earth afraid, scared, man, quiet. Want a quick reign and tirade, and shut the whole earth down. You know what I'm saying? So this is what this dude does, man. This is how he became all people on the earth, man, by force of the sword, man, which is his blessing. Again, Genesis, the 27th chapter, which is prophecy at the end of the day, which you have to deal with in order to understand who's who and what's what and what's going on, man. If you're not dealing with that, hey, the Lord ain't dealing with you. Let's get this real quick in Revelation 19. Because it's about prophecy, man. Yeah, if you're dealing with prophecy, you'll understand who Esau is, man. Revelation, the 19th chapter and verse 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushai. And there are certain men in the earth in these times that have that very testimony, man, which he's finna tell you what that testimony is. Most of them don't have it, man. That's why they don't understand who Esau is. And if you don't understand that he's not Japheth, then you don't have the testimony of Yahushai. It is what it is, man. It says that have the testimony of Yahushai. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushai is the spirit of prophecy. There it is. So you have to be dealing with the prophecies, man. Sirach 39:1 says you have to be occupied in prophecies. 2 Ezra 15:1 says he told Ezra to speak into the ears of his people the words of prophecy. Why is the Lord saying that, man? Because it tells who Esau is, man. It tells who the Israelites are. It tells who's who, what's what, and what's going on, man. And prophecy tells you who Esau is. So let's real quick go to Job 9:24. This is a oldie but goodie, man. This is a banger that you can never get enough of this one. Brothers know this one. It's Job 9:24, and it reads, the earth is given into the hand or power of the wicked. Who's in power, man? Japheth is not in power, bro. The scriptures say that Esau will be ruling in end times. As a matter of fact, let's get that real quick, then we'll come back. It tells you who Esau is clearly, man. Clearly and surely. So let's get it in 2 Ezra real quick. 2 Ezra 6 and verse 9. This is 2 Ezra 6 and 9, and it reads, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. You ask anybody and their mama, and they'll tell you these are end times. This is the end of the world. So who's ruling, man? It's not hard to see. The so-called self-proclaimed white man is in power. He's ruling. That's why his face is on the currency, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why his face is in the side of mountains. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have to speak his language in order to, no matter what country you come from, you got to speak his language in order to get a pilot's license, to drive, man, to fly a plane, man, Salakia. You know what I'm saying? Everything, all roads lead to him and run through him, man. That's why all these nations are wearing suits and ties, man. Even the Chinese, who, that's not their culture, man. Suits and ties is not their culture. Go look at some ancient Asian Chinese movies. You're gonna see what their culture is, man. You know, geese. You know what I'm saying? Different type of attire. So it says, for Esau is the end of the world, man. And that end of the world is an ion, a time period. You know, his rulership. You know, we're at the end of that. His age. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. The time period, the rulership, the age to follow is Jacob, man. The Israelites, which consist of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians of Negroid descent, man. You make up the 12 no longer lost tribes of the nation of Israel, man. You know, so we know these things now, man. So if you can't understand that, then the Lord just ain't dealing with you. So we'll go back now to Job 9:24. You know, because these are all prophecies. All these things are prophecies, man. Job 9:24. The earth is given because it was given. That blessing was given in Genesis the 27th chapter. You know, when Esau, their forefather Esau, cried. You know, so a blessing was given to him. That's why the scripture say in Hebrews 11:20, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come, man. So it says the earth is given into the hand or power of the wicked. Which when you read in Revelation the 6th chapter, it goes into that, how power was given to him over the fourth part of the earth, man. You know, and the three known parts back then was Africa, Asia, and Europe. You know what I'm saying? This is the so-called New World that they claim that they found, which how can they discover something that was inhabited? We were already here. Gad, Reuben, the Hispanics, the Latinos, you know what I'm saying? The Northern Kingdom, man, they were already over here, man. So the earth was given into the hand or power of the wicked, which we know who the wicked is pursuant to Malachi 1:4. You know what I'm saying? Esau, man. It says he covered the faces of the judges thereof. So here's another important factor and clue as to who these things are talking about. How you know who Esau is. You know? He covered the faces of the judges thereof. Who are the judges, man? The main judges are Yahweh himself and Yahushua, man. Which that's why you have the image of the so-called white Jebus in the earth, man. You know what I'm saying? That's covering the faces of the judges. You know, if you Google God, you're gonna see a so-called white man, bald-headed with a long white beard and a bubble with some spirits that look like they trying to escape and get out of there. You know? So, and then the judges also include the people, the Israelites, man. You know what I'm saying? And when you Google any of those people, you're going to see so-called white people, man, which you read in the book of in the Maccabees, I believe it is, 3 and 4. I don't know if it's first. I believe it's first Maccabees, first or second Maccabees, 3 and 48. It tells you that they went into the book of the law, which is the Bible, and sought to paint their likeness and images. That's how it happened, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how he covered the faces. That's why you have these fakes in the land now claiming to be the actual people of the Lord, and they're not, man. They're not the people. You know what I'm saying? So that's the part of which they got over there by way of the Balfour Declaration. You know what I'm saying? So that's how he covered the faces of the judges, man, thereof. Placing them in the land and changing the images, man. You know, that so-called whitewashing of history, man. You know what I'm saying? When Michelangelo and them start painting over the dark images and making them so-called white, you know, lightening up the images and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It says, if it ain't this dude that we're telling you it's the so-called white man, if not him, if it ain't him, if not, where and who is he? Rhetorical question. The Lord has he's been sarcastic right here. He giving you all the clues. I'm telling you exactly who this nigga is, and you gonna go against that. You tell me it's not him. If not, where and so who is it then? Basically is what the Lord is asking. Because the prophecies clearly tell who this nigga is. Let's get another prophecy that clearly points this dude out, man. This is Ezekiel chapter 35, and I'm going to read verse 5. And it reads Ezekiel 35 and 5. Well, let's just jump up because I want to make this point. It says Ezekiel 35 and 1. Moreover, the word of Yahweh Bashem Shai came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Now, is the Lord prophesying against a mountain, an actual mountain? No, he's not. So let's make this point real quick, and then we'll go to jump down to verse 5. This is Salakia. Genesis 36. And verse 8 is Genesis 36 and 8, and it reads, Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. So there it is. When it speaks of Mount Seir, it's dealing with Esau, Edom. They're all synonymous. Esau dwelt in Mount Seir. So when we go back to Ezekiel, the 35th chapter, and it says, Son of man, set the verse 2, 35, Ezekiel 35 and 2, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. It's talking about to Esau, Edom. So, and this is how you're going to understand that's what that's talking about. We're going to jump down to verse 5. It says, Ezekiel 35 and 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Now, did Mount Seir, did a mountain shed blood and have hatred? Come on, man. Stop, bro. No. The people that inhabited that mountain is who it's talking about. And the Lord is telling them what they did. So, which you can apply this today. Ezekiel 35 and 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. When you go into that word perpetual, it means ancient, never-ending hatred, which they still have that hatred today, man, by way of reincarnation, because the spirits come back, man, and they still have that same hatred. It's just it's embedded in them. It's ingrained in their DNA, man. The Lord created them to have that hatred. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, which you, again, does Japheth have a perpetual hatred? Where in the scriptures does it say Japheth was going to have a perpetual hatred? This is dealing with Esau. Well, we just proved it. Genesis 36 and 8, man. Esau, Mount Seir, and Edom are all synonymous. It's all talking about the same people. It doesn't say Japheth, man. It says Esau, Edom, and Mount Seir, man. So here's one of those prophecies that clearly proves that Esau is not Japheth, man. Ezekiel 35 and 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. Whose blessing was the sword? Was Japheth's blessing the sword? Genesis 27 tells you Esau cried. He was given a blessing, fatness of the earth, dew from heaven. And it says, and thou shalt rule with the sword, or by the sword, or by thy sword shalt thou live. To more put it without paraphrasing it, so he was going to live by a sword. That sword was the blessing of Esau, not Japheth. So it says that and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, which they've been doing to this very day. He's still doing it. Jake is dying at the hand of these so-called white people, man. Stop, bro. It says in the time of their calamity and the time that their iniquity had an end. So that's now, man. You know what I'm saying? Perpetual hatred, man. Japheth has never had a perpetual hatred towards towards Israel, Jacob, man. That hatred for you is the so-called self-proclaimed white man. So when you deal with the prophecies, you can't go amiss, man. And hey, even when you deal with the prophecy in Obadiah, it makes it clear. Let's go there. Let's get the one in Obadiah. This is Obadiah chapter 1, and we're gonna jump down to verse 18, and then we'll bring this thing to a close, man. Because it's clear when you deal with the prophecies, it makes it very clear. Obadiah 1 and 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, which represents the northern and southern kingdom, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. The Lord has a major problem with Esau. When you read in Romans the 9th chapter, what does it tell you? That he created one vessel to honor, the other to dishonor. The vessel of honor is the Israelites, Jacob. The vessel of dishonor is Esau, man. When you read up Romans 9 and around verse 13, he said, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated, which that's just reiterating what's written in Malachi. And of course, when you read in Malachi, it's reading about Esau, the border of wickedness, man. The Lord has a problem with these people. They're the nation of people that the Lord hates. You know what I'm saying? And when you go into the word Edom, it means red. There's only one red nation on the planet. That's the so-called self-proclaimed white man, woman, and child, man. It is what it is, So when you read down, continue to go back to Romans the 9th chapter and read down, one vessel is made to honor, Jacob, the other to dishonor, which is Esau, Edom, man, the so-called self-proclaimed white man, woman, and child. And they're the vessels that's created and fitted to wrath and destruction, man. Why? Because they're the nation that the Lord hates. The red people. It's talking about Esau, Edom, not Japheth. Stop, bro. It didn't say Japheth is the vessel of dishonor. It says Edom, Esau, which we already read in 2 Ezra 6 and 9 that Esau will be ruling in end times when the Messiah returns, man. You know what I'm saying? Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, meaning that when the Messiah returns to establish his kingdom, Esau would be ruling. We see that rulership right now is the so-called self-proclaimed white man. If you can't get it, you just can't get it. But let's go back to Obadiah 1. Obadiah 1 and 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. They're going to become stubble. They're going to get burned up, man. Big bonfire. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has spoken it. So Esau is going to, because it says the house of Esau for stubble. Who is worthy of that on the planet today? Just look at the things that this dude has done and is doing and is going to do, Who's worthy of that? It's not even hard. Look at this dude's track record, man. You know what I'm saying? Who hung your simple tail and burned you and maimed you, cut off your body parts, raped your women and the wives in front of the husbands, buck breaking, Derby's dose. All the madness that this dude did. Japheth didn't do it. The so-called white man did it, man. And this thinking, who's right now forcing people to take jabs? You know what I'm saying? Locking and shutting stuff down. You got depopulation missions. You can pull up on YouTube, BG. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say name. I'm trying to be careful. I tend to slip here and there, but hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Who's doing these things, man? You know what I'm saying? Buying up the farmland, manufacturing a famine to starve your tail. Just look at this dude's track record. Chemtrailing the air and poisoning the air you breathe. GMO in the foods. No nutrients in your food. This thing is the poisons in your water, man. Fluoride and poisons, chemicals. Japheth ain't the one doing that, man. It's this dude. So that is worthy of being stubble, man, becoming stubble, man. So, hey, man, none of this is talking about Japheth. It's all about Esau, Edom, man. And we know who these things line up with. So it's, hey, if you can receive it, receive it. If not, hey, it is what it is. So, hey, with that, it was on my spirit going to it. Giving all hopeless is edifying to the hopeful elect. Giving all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect, the house of David, the Bayah, the Shalom.